Oh yeah. So this is going to be a skimmer hack and parasite update on the pond. So if you remember on the last video that I did a an Aldi fruit bag that I'd put inside my skimmer to catch all the debris from that blossom tree behind me. Was it a win? Was it a fail? It was a win, but too much of a win. The bag is really fine mesh, so it was catching fines basically, so it was overperforming, and with the amount of blossom that was falling off the tree, it was taking in that much blossom. It was filling up within half a day, so it was great, but not for now, I think. So in the summer, when there's not much debris knocking about, it's small stuff, great, but when there's things like sort of loads of blossom falling down and what have you, you know, you probably saw in the previous videos that the decking looked as though it was covered in snow. It was that white. It weren't good enough. Well, it was too good. So that was that. Then what I've done, if I just swing you around, so there it's working, and that is about a day. Say so two half day empties and the following morning. So yeah, so what I've done, I've taken the bag out and I've lined the basket with scouring pads, like you can see there. So gone round the basket like that, all the way around in the basket, and then I've put a centre one similar. This is an old one I'm throwing away, so like that, with a hole in it which goes over the sort of centre handle that you can pull the basket out with. That goes over the top, and then when it's over the top, it holds the sides in place. And now that skimmer, I think is it All Pond Solutions, so it's quite a narrow stem on it, whereas the Oase ones are quite thick, and I might change that for an Oase one. So they come at the bottom with some coarse foam disc, but the downside to that is when the foam starts to get a build-up of debris, obviously it creates more suction and it pulls the sponge or the foam down into the hole. So I've put stainless steel grid in there. We've got some off the bird cages. We've got I put some swing feeders in the bird cages. Excuse me. So I had to put in when we put the swing feeders in, I had to cut a hole in the inch square stainless steel mesh, and so I've made a grid that goes in there as stainless steel. And what I've done, this was an old foam that I've used, so I cleaned it, cut a section out, and I put a section in too thick, so it pushes the basket up, so the float cover can't go down long enough. So then what I tried was I cut it in half to that thickness, and again a bit too thick. So what I've done is there's two thinner ones in there now, and for some reason two thinner ones seems to be working pretty good. As you can see, the pond is luminous green. We're on about day, I think this will be the third or fourth day I need to check about third or fourth day of bacterial and fungus treatment. Treated for the parasites, so that's had FMG in, 2 doses of FMG, and I've put the bacteria. I'm still I spoke to Koi Services, and Steve thinks it's not a bacterial issue. I'm not 100%. Perhaps I'm being a pessimist, but I don't know. I just think there's something going on in there. But yeah, so he's got the parasite, the bacterial treatment in. That's got to go for 5 days in total. So I've got about another day or 2 of that. Then what I'm going to do is give the easy pod over there, I'm going to flush that probably about 4 times and give it a really good water change. I think clarity went down a bit as well this last week. It's gone a bit murky, so whether that's a combination of UV not being on, not flushing the filter as much, and what have you, I don't know. Perhaps somebody can tell me. And I'd still really like, so this is run from its own pump, not the main pond, which just basically goes from the skimmer straight to the water blade. But I really want some extra. I'd like some form of bio filtration. I'd like to. Somebody's telling me I want to up my my bio filtration. Last water test I did, everything was fine. Nitrates were a bit high. No ammonia, no nitrates, but the nitrates were a bit high. But yeah, I thought about getting a bubble bead filter on there, but again, someone says no, not the best. So if someone can suggest something, it's got to be under a pressurized system because it's got to feed the water blade. So yeah, any suggestions welcome, much appreciated. But overall, to be fair, the fish, I've noticed that the fish are obviously they're getting more active because it's warmer, but the fins are up, they're happy, they're swimming around, no flicking. So I'm pleased with that. I'm just hoping I can get everything back on track. Cheers guys, positive comments welcome, really appreciate them. So if anybody's got any ideas, suggestions for top up filtration, I'm happy to receive those. Cheers.